you know, despite all the chaos that you see in Libya today, there are certain stable points that never changed since 2011. Most importantly, the Central Bank of Libya governor, the head of the financial controlling ministry or authority, and the deputy head of the defense ministry, deputy head of the interior ministry. They never changed throughout these years. And they always stayed with Muslim Brotherhood. They always stayed with the Libyan fighting group. How can the state rise when the very joints of the country, the state, the nation, are actually held by people who don't believe in the nation state? So I believe in the inclusivity that sets certain conditions about being included. To be included, you must not exclude others unfairly. And to be included, you must be a citizen, in the sense of being someone who is interested in the rise of the country. So, having not been heard in 2013, 14, and 15, I am hoping that the change that you have just had in this country may open the way to perhaps a reconsideration of your policies. Because quite frankly, someone asked me, a friend of mine, what would you ask America to do for you? I said, we don't want anything from them. We don't want your soldiers to fight our fight. We don't want your money. Libya is rich enough. We don't want you to actually help us in any way. All we want you is to just relook at your policy. This crazy policy which undermines your own interests, okay, of actually supporting Muslim Brotherhood and Libyan fighting group elements who are not only undermining Libya, but because they're undermining and destabilizing my country, are a threat to your country. So the Libyan people want dignity like all other people. The Libyan people want to live freely, to live happily, to enjoy the wealth of their country equally. That's what Libyans want. And that's what Libyans didn't get. And forgive me, but part of the reason they didn't get that was every time we tried to push the Islamists back, somehow we were forced to let them be active by the international community itself. So I am hoping that this foundation, which is so key and which has the capacity to articulate and has the connectivity to get a listening from the new administration, I think it's time to revamp your Libya policy big time. And as we are being patient and inclusive, these guys are attacking the oil terminals and attacking Benghazi. They tried 3 times to attack Benghazi. And thank God for the air power of the Libyan National Army and its determination. It's been fighting terrorists for 3 years without any international support. As a matter of fact, with international undermining, okay? And they've pushed back the Islamists out of Benghazi in a dreadful 3-year fight that has cost us something like 6,000 young people, okay? And yet, no one is helping the Libyan National Army, and they're standing by as a Qaeda army is being blessed by the UN and the US into attacking the East. So there was a good statement yesterday that called for cessation of hostilities. But the way the statement is written, it actually equates the Libyan National Army with Qaeda troops, okay? So the policy is still there because of the new administration hasn't had a chance to revamp all the policies and to change the various embassy staff and so on. So we're still going on the previous administration's policy, okay? I came to Washington to urge you to quickly relook at what you're doing to us, because you're not only not helping the army, you're actually undermining our attempt to replace the Presidential Council by simply following the blind policy of saying that this is the legitimate government of Libya. Another very key area is the Central Bank of Libya. I tried a dozen times submitting evidence, okay, that the central bank governor and some of his staff are actually facilitating the arming of Islamist militias by giving them trade finance. Today, if the central bank gives you $10 million, you can go out in the black market and make them $70 million, dinars, sorry. Instead of, because the official rate is supposed to be 1-to-1, the black market rate is 1-to-7. Okay, so you can imagine by opening trade finance to chosen Islamist companies, you can finance everything. And we're being killed by our own money, okay, because of the central bank governor. I complained to the previous administration, and several times, documented, okay? And not only did they not do anything about it, they said you should not undermine the governor because there is what they call the de-risking process that could shut the banking system down. I was saying, what more risking can there be than to have an Islamist governor or an Islamist facilitating governor? you know? So this governor was fired by the legitimate parliament in the East 2 years ago. We haven't been allowed to implement the removal of the governor because his signature is the only signature recognized by your financial system. Because, as you know, we trade in dollars, so everything has to be recognized in New York. Okay, so if I'm to be asked what do we need from America is just wake up to what's been happening. You have been advocating Muslim Brotherhood, Libyan fighting group for the last 6 years, and you're still expecting us to rise as a nation. That is like saying to the Germans, allow the Nazi party, give the central bank to the Nazi party, but you must have German democracy. That just doesn't work.